So first to start off, I just got back from Africa. It was my first trip to Africa since pre-COVID. I was in Rwanda and Kenya for the Kigali Summit on NTDs and malaria. We saw partners, we had some great meetings, and it left me so energized, so re-energized about the power of having these kinds of meetings in person. Nuance, the challenges that we're facing in global health right now are just so complicated, and there's only so much that we can do over Zoom. And I was just so excited to be back in the field, meeting with people, and it really actually made me super excited for our October forum. So hopefully, I know we have this virtual GMM today, but it's going to be incredible to be back with all of you in October, because the agenda, which we'll talk about today, the challenges we're facing, I think that only being in person really does it justice. And while I know that not everyone can be there, I think having a lot of us there is going to be incredible. So I look forward to that. We'll talk more about the agenda later. But I also wanted to just kind of recap on the last 2 years of PQMD. We put together our strategic plan under Darnell over a year ago. And one of the main things that we were looking at was networking. And I'm super excited that I think as of today's call, we have 23 new member reps as part of PQMD. So welcome to all of you. It's incredible that, as PQMD, we're moving more from donations as a solution to donations as a bridge to sustainable health. And especially with a lot of our new members, we really cover a lot of health areas, almost all the areas of global health. And I think this will be an incredible way, to kind of go into our October forum with these new perspectives, new members, and in person. So welcome all of you. If you are a new member, definitely reach out to anyone on this call before the October forum, just to get some of those conversations started. But if you're an experienced member, definitely pick up the phone if anyone calls you, just to share your experiences with PQMD. That would be great. We also are celebrating Guidelines Week. Thanks so much to the Guidelines Committee and all of you who are working diligently in this area. There's a pillar talk on Thursday as a reminder, but hopefully you can support Guidelines Week in one way or another, it's through the pillar talk or through social media. This is really one of our key initiatives as a community. And so we'll also hear more about that from Marcia as the meeting goes along. And then lastly, EJ, Steve, Alan, and myself have been having one-on-ones with a lot of the members over the last few months. And again, we just hear over and over again the power of the PQMD network and how important it is for us to brainstorm and collaborate and again, address a lot of these challenges together. So we will have that opportunity again in October, but hopefully a little bit in this call, you'll get a sense of what's going on in the PQMD community and again, learn more about what each other are doing. So I think with that, EJ, I'm going to turn it over to you for the director's report. We have a pretty standard agenda. If you looked at it, we're going to do a director's report. We're going to do committee updates, and that will take us probably through the whole hour. And then we have a coffee chat, which hopefully most of us can stay on for. But it'll be fairly straightforward. I think that I'm guessing questions, maybe put them in the chat, and the people running the session can kind of look at that as they go along. But EJ, over to you. Thanks again.
Okay, thank you very much. I'm going to share my screen here. If I can, here we are. Hold on here. Okay. So good morning, everybody. Thank you for making it. Let's see my screen. Can you see my screen? Can you see anything?
Yes.
Oh, there we go.
We see the presenter view, EJ.
Wow, that just went black. Oh, here.
So does swap displays, top left there?
Yeah. Let's see.
There you go.
Is that it? You can see it?
Perfect.
That's great,
Perfect, except, all right, hang on a second. Let me get back to the beginning. Here we go. Okay, thank you very much. So welcome. I'm EJ Ashburn. I'm the Executive Director. For any new members who, as Julie said, we have so many. I'm the Executive Director, and I'm going to do just a really quick update because we have done so very much. And after this meeting, we have a full report that will be posted on the members only section of the COP. So I urge you to go and look at it. I'll tell you a little bit more about that as I go along. I like to start each of my reports with the mission and vision statement, just to remind us. I think Julie mentioned that with our strategic plan, we also developed a whole new mission and vision statement, which really focuses on sustainability and resilience. But with the same mission, again, using donations as our entry point, but really our mission and vision being about universal access to health and well-being, and really focusing our work on sustainability as it goes forward, and not just donations as a solution. Julie also mentioned all of our new members. I thought I'd give you a good look at who they are. So we have 23 new member representatives since October of 2021. In the old days of PQMD, of course, it wouldn't be so stark because we would have been meeting over time. So sort of everyone gets integrated and gets to know each other. In our new virtual world, or hopefully eventually hybrid world, it has been a little bit more difficult just to see names and organizations. So I urge you to go to the leadership section of our website, and there you will find a picture of everybody. And in several of our meetings, people have mentioned wanting to know more about what organizations are doing and what the focus of organizations are and where they work. So I do want to remind you that on the website, each organization not only has a link to their website, but also a description of what they're doing, what their focus is. And so it's a good place to use as a resource. So the, oops, hang on. I'm very sorry about this. Okay, there we go. So here are all the new members. And as Julie said, if you have a chance, please do, if you hear from somebody from one of these organizations, you may not know the person calling you, but I would really encourage you to respond to emails or respond to phone calls so that we can start to get those relationships going. And as Julie also said, if you're a seasoned member of PQMD and you feel like you would like to participate, if you have half an hour to be a mentor, please get in touch with the membership committee, who can set you up as a formal mentor, or just feel free to, if you have a second, to lift up the phone and ring up an organization that you maybe don't know so much about. I did want to review sort of our 2022 objectives. Again, this came from our strategic plan. So we want to continue PQMD's role as a leader in guidelines and assuring quality product donations. And that's sort of the top of mind this week because of Guidelines Week and Guidelines Month. And I think by virtue of some of the things that we've done in the last 6 months and even in the last year and a half, I think we're definitely on that road, and we've definitely achieved that objective. We want to remain in the forefront of global policy thinking. Again, I'll reference a couple of things that we've done in the last 6 months that really demonstrate that we are at the front edge or the frontier of what's going on with donations. And I would say that we've been at the frontier for the last year and a half. I think we have, I don't know if it's by design or purpose or by serendipity, but we have managed to be on the front end of the wave of where donations is going. And really where global health and access to medicine is going. So I'm really excited that our programs seem to be on point. And I really attribute that to the fact that we have so many people in our community and our network who are on the front lines and who are very much operating in that space on a regular basis. So I think, again, sort of referencing the strength of our network. We're implementing, our objective was to continue implementation of our strategic plan, grow our finance and technical resources, provide members networking opportunities. Some of you have mentioned that we may have gone overboard on that we've provided so many networking opportunities that sometimes it's a little stressful, feeling like you have to go to everything or you want to participate in everything. Just a reminder that, we don't try to be all things to all people all the time, but we try to target as much common ground and bring people together around common issues. And there absolutely is no requirement to go to everything, but hopefully you find things that will interest you, and then you just know about the rest. And we've, in terms of the numbers, which you'll hear from the committees, the numbers of participants, I think we've hit kind of a good stride on that, but we always want to work better and work smarter to make sure we're bringing the right opportunities and the right opportunities to network specifically to our members. And then we want to focus on expanding our member recruitment, which I think we have done that. We have 3 new NGOs, and we actually have we have an interesting pipeline. We have a corporate in our pipeline as well for new members. So this is kind of exciting. And I think that will happen in the second half of this year. And then, of course, continue to maintain the highest quality programs, which I'd like to say that we do. So this is just a quick summary. I'm not going to go over all of these of sort of our mid-year highlights. I'm not going to go over all these because you're going to hear about this in the committee reports, but I do want to point out a couple of things. That, in terms of the pillar talks and in terms of the coffee chats, as I referenced before, we really are trying a whole range of different networking opportunities. One's just to talk to each other, just to learn from each other, but also to provide you with some new information or things that people are curious about. We did have the opportunity to have the Measuring for Success event series, which was kind of exciting. I still think that is a key product that is really going to come into the fore of what we do in terms of organizations measuring their impact. I really do believe it is a substantial and signature product of PQMD. There just isn't anything else out there like it to talk about and measure impact. And as a result of that, also, we have we've introduced a program called the Aligned Metrics Initiative, which is something that we've been talking about for a while. And for those of you who have been part of the PQMD impact assessment work over the last 5 years, we really have sort of flirted with the idea of trying to figure out what are some baseline metrics that we can measure in terms of the impact of all of our work, and that we can measure across organizations, both NGO and corporate, that would be able to talk about the industry as a whole. So not just in terms of benchmarking against each other, but really talking about what is the influence and impact of donations work. So we now have enough data, we have enough technical capacity, we have enough technical information to be able to really build a viable network across organizations involving people within PQMD, but also those outside of it that have influence in this area and expertise. And so this is something that we will be launching, and I'm really excited that we kind of got that all together in the first half of this year. So you will see that happening in the second half of the year. Another thing that has been really substantial, of course, was our Global Health Policy Forum series that really focused on regional representation and the regional expertise of our members. For those of you who were able to attend, I thought it was extraordinary. I thought it was absolutely fabulous. It really showed me just the kind of expertise that our members have in the field. Not that that was surprising, but the fact that there was so much synergy among organizations, there was so much information, literally anything that the global community is talking about. Our members really know what the situation is on the ground, and they know the implications of it at a global level. And I think we constantly are looking for opportunities to use that information and to bring that information and bring that expertise to the fore on behalf of the organization, on behalf of PQMD, but also to the benefit of all of our members on a very practical level. So we will continue to work on that in that area. We also launched the GARD Access Program, which many of you have not been involved with, but some of you have been very involved. And that is the rare disease program. And that, we were asked as PQMD to build a set of quality assurance guidelines for rare diseases. And it's sort of following on our work with medical missions, following on the work that we've done with just our guidelines in general. So again, I think it's a real reflection of where the sweet spot expertise of PQMD is and probably always will be. It was the raison d'etre of our organization to start with. But in as much as guidelines and quality assurance in guidelines represents sort of the sustainability and resilience of organizations and at the country level, I think that it's a really great calling card for PQMD, and it's something that that we can look at. We've also been asked, believe it or not, to do guidelines just for donated products. So we actually have had the opportunity to start some discussions around that to see whether or not that is something that would fall in our wheelhouse. Do we want to go beyond just medicines? I think that's a really big question. I think it'll be something that we'll be in discussion about for a while. It's not at the front of any burners right now, but it is something that I think is interesting to think about. And then, of course, we had the DevX partnership. I don't know if you know, we were invited to present at DevX World. I had the opportunity to ask what was called a fire starter question at the recent meeting, which was really exciting, and be able to sort of showcase PQMD and focus on partnerships and the expert way in which we operate. Hats off to we also had an article and an interview in the DevX magazine, and we've got, I'm probably stealing the communication committee's information, and we've got a lot of advertising that has been going on as well. And I just want to, a special shout out to the communications committee and Sam and Abby and everybody who participated in making that happen, at least Lisa Jordan-Hazy and a bunch of others who really contributed to not only the quality of the work that was put in there, but also the real visibility that it gave to PQMD. So there's a lot of other things in here that I would like to mention, but I think you can just look over the list. As I said, there is a full report with a description of everything, much more laid out in the COP. The other thing that we did is we divided it by strategic pillar. And then Sam and Beth took a lot of time to hot link all of the bubbles to the actual website and information. So it's super, super easy to use. You can go on, you can just hit a button and find out anything you want to know about all of these different programs, and it'll take you right to where you want to go. All right, I'm not going to go over this because I think I'm a bit over time here. This is just our operational plan. I would really love you to have a look at it. This is the first half. We've like been on the mark. We've achieved everything, even despite Ukraine and everything else that came up that sort of adjusted our plans more than we maybe would have anticipated, but we did manage to pull it all together, mostly from the work of all the committees, all the committee chairs, the board, the staff. I mean, this is a testament to the commitment that all of you have to not only the organization that we have, that we outlined to try and address the myriad issues that everyone's involved with, but also being able to accommodate massive, massive global crisis, and still keep on going, recognizing that, you know, there are still regular everyday things that need to be done, regular everyday diseases, pandemic or epidemics, all kinds of things that still need to be addressed. And I think everybody has done that brilliantly. This is the second half of the year. So you can, again, you can have a look. And I just wanted to end with this picture of the staff, because these are really the people who make it all happen. I'm really excited that in October, the whole staff will be attending the meeting in Seattle. We had a big discussion as to whether or not that should happen. You know, should everybody go? But the reality is that in addition to some of our staff actually not having met each other in person because of COVID, so we're doing that in September, so people will be able to do that. We realized that so many of them haven't met you, and it's going to just be much, much easier, I think, down the road as ever to work with people virtually once you've met them personally. And I just felt it was really, really important for the whole team to be celebrated in the way that they deserve. with the most amazing work that they have done on behalf of PQMD, and the generous spirit which all of you have invited them in to participate and partner with you on the activities that you've been involved with. So with that, I will say thank you very much, and back over to Julie.
Thank you, EJ. And yes, huge thanks to the staff. You guys have been incredible this year. And yes, I look forward to meeting all of you in person, and I'm sure everyone is excited about that. We are going to go through the committee reports. We'll start with the NGO update. So Steve, can I turn it to you?
Sure, thanks, Julie. Sorry, guys, I'm a slacker, so there are no slides. But I think, one of the things that we've been working on is again, the implementation of the strategic plan and how key that is. And for our focus for NGO is really to continue to promote and implement and foster networking and collaboration. So again, as Julie mentioned, we've been having calls with all the NGOs, Julie, EJ, and myself, actually just one-on-one opportunities for members to get to just share about what's happening and their feelings and their feedback on how PQMD is doing, what ways they can also share or enhance what they are offering PQMD. So that's about halfway finished. I know I've reached out to several of you to schedule calls, and then there's some more that we're working on, but hopefully I'm going to have those done by Labor Day. Might be a challenge, but we'll see if we can get that done. And so if you've gotten an email from me, please respond with dates so I can then go ahead and offer out those other dates to some of the other NGOs. But as EJ said, I think Julie said, it's been really valuable for us just to have that one-on-one time, because we've not been together, and even when we are together, it's a big group, and there's just not time for those conversations. So we so appreciate everybody taking time and just giving us their feedback and having that one-on-one opportunity. The other thing that we obviously are still working on, we all took part in the NGO sector, the benchmarking survey last spring, first quarter, second quarter of 2021. That is being analyzed. I know we're over a year into that, but I think one of the things that we really want to take a look at what information we're getting from that, and is it what we want to get? Is it the right information? What are we learning from that information? How is that fostering collaboration and or moving the needle on what we want to do to enhance PQMD? Darnell has been instrumental in helping us with this, and with an intern from CMMB, really looking over that and analyzing that. We should have those results. Actually, I think we have a meeting this afternoon. So Julie Marie and Darnell, thank you so much for all the time you're spending on that. And hopefully, not hopefully, we will have the analysis by October, if not before. And just want to go through that. And then as we look at how the surveys will be done in the future, what are the things we want to actually collect? We have a membership application process. We have this mapping thing that we've talked about, which again, we heard on our calls, the fact that a lot of members, we don't really know what everybody else is doing. So is there a way for us to give a quick view? Yes, you can go on our websites and kind of review for yourself if you've got time, but what are the ways that we can enhance what we're doing, where we're working, and how we might be able to work more in collaboration going forward? So the calls, the NGO benchmarking survey, those are the things that all continue on through the rest of this year, and just making sure those get complete. We probably, I think Darnell, I'm not sure she's on here, we'll be looking for maybe a small group to help us start processing for the 2023 survey. So that's my update.
Thank you, Steve. So we will go to Ellen. Are you on?
Yes, Julie, hi.
Or the corporate side? Thanks.
I did do slides, so I get a gold star, Steve. Just stealing Gretchen's slides. So in line with the strategy, these were the areas that the corporate sector was supposed to focus on, and we've made some progress on quite a few of these. We have set up several coffee chats for, sorry, can you see this next screen? We did have 2 calls with the corporate sector to talk about the response to the Ukraine. That was really well received and a robust conversation. I think members got a lot out of that. We have scheduled coffee chats with the corporate members for through February, I believe, so on a quarterly basis. And those are based on topics that came through the last benchmarking survey in 2020. And we have put together a small committee, thanks to Kirsten and Jen Kim Fields, Suki and Julie Marie. We've been having discussions around what the next benchmarking survey should look like. We're hoping to streamline the questions and remove any of the data that we're not using, like maybe something around volunteering that would be nice to gather, but we're not using that data and we're getting that through other member organizations. And for the corporate benchmarking survey, we did have a really good discussion with the Rutgers Institute for Social Innovation to see if they would be willing to help us analyze the data. And that's led to maybe a few other projects that we can run past them for their MBA students. So more discussion to be had there, but just trying to leverage that opportunity. And yes, and the corporate member check-in calls, EJ and I and Julie need to resume those. Those were put on hold for a little bit while we were focusing on some other things. So Steve has me up on that one. I don't know if I missed anything there, Julie Marie, or I think the engagement between,
I think it's great.
I think the engagement on the last coffee chat was well received because we brought in Marcia to talk about guidelines and we brought in Mitch to talk about the K&I committee. So a lot of opportunities to share the knowledge and learning there for people who may not be aware of their work as well. I think that's it for me.
Thanks, Ellen. Yeah, and thanks for hosting those chats. I think on the corporate perspective, it's been really helpful. So with that, we'll turn it over to Alicia, who is filling in for Mitch today with the K&I committee. Welcome.
Thanks, Julie, and good morning, everyone. As I'm Alicia Annamaley, I'm the Vice Chair of the Knowledge and Innovation Committee, and I'm filling in for Mitch today. So firstly, and primarily for the benefit of our newest members, I wanted to share that K&I still maintains the PQMD's Measuring for Success toolkit. So Julie Marie will drop the link into the chat, and I think she's going to share her screen to show some of the toolkit now as well. So please take some time to explore it. Such an excellent resource for everything M&E related, specifically for medical product donation programs. The interactive website content was developed with teams in mind. It has real life case studies, processes, checklists, definitions, visuals, linked resources, examples, and much more. Most importantly, we believe that if you work through the toolkit, you'll be able to describe your programs in a clear and consistent manner and articulate using supportive data how your product donations are making a meaningful difference. Our next update for the toolkit is due to drop in October with several updates being made. We've already launched a new self-guided video session around the PQMD impact pyramid. I don't know if you want to show that, Julie Marie. So specifically how utilizing the pyramid can help link product donation activities to programs' short-term results as well as longer-term impact. And this is the pyramid right here that Julie Marie is showing. So you can explore more via the website. So our K&I committee have also been collaborating with some of you to think through some PQMD specific metric challenges, including with the guidelines committee on the template Kickstarter initiative, the sectors for better utilization of the benchmarking data, and the PQMD strategic planning team on identifying and aggregating metrics for our progress together. Finally, I wanted to speak to PQMD's Aligned Metrics Initiative, or AMI. So at PQMD, we've been talking about the growing need for a set of accepted metrics to capture the results of product donations. So we've put forth a plan that will, 1, provide a key list of accepted impact metrics for different types of product donations. 2, deliver practical guidance and tools on employing the indicators. And 3, support a community of practice in adopting, learning, and sharing. So part of what makes this initiative unique is that the project steering committee will seek out input from people working along the data pipeline to ensure that we're recommending feasible, meaningful, and achievable metrics. So there are different ways that people can participate. so they can join a working group or simply provide their input to a draft. Yet in order to do this, we need to be in touch with the people responsible for M&E work within each organization. So Kay and I will be forwarding a short survey to all member reps in August, and we're asking that you either fill this out yourself or forward it to your colleagues who are responsible for M&E within your organization. And the goal of this survey is to firstly identify the right person or people at each member org that's responsible for M&E activities, to understand the current scope of M&E activities within the org, and to leverage interest for participation in the AMI initiative. So you can find out more information on the AMI, on the COP at our website. Julie Marie will drop the link. And if you're interested in supporting this work through funding or networking, or even recommending a technical consultant, which we're looking for, we'd love to talk to you. So just reach out to Mitch, Julie Marie, or myself. So thank you, and that's all from Kay and I.
Thanks so much, Alicia. It's an incredible tool. So everyone, yes, I see the link is in the chat, so definitely take a look at it. I think we're gonna go, sorry, my cheat sheet. Marcia for guidelines next.
Hey, I do have a, whoops, I'm in the wrong thing. Here we go. Whoops. From beginning, here we go. Whoops. Can you see my screen okay?
We're seeing the presenter view.
Is that good? Oh,
If you go to, I think you can swap
Okay.
windows.
you do check unused presenter view?
Yeah, uncheck that. Yeah.
Okay, here we go. Sorry about that. All right, so guidelines committee update. As you can imagine, we've been pretty busy this month with Guidelines Week programming. God, the team has supported us so much, you know, the PQMD team. We have developed the Pillar Talk coffee chat. And one of the things I'm real excited about on the COP is the Ask the Expert. Because we developed that so that anybody, internal or external, can actually ask questions that we can address. And we're really hoping to drive traffic there so that we can kind of guide any new people, you know, focusing on the product donation program. So directly following this, I'm going to do a couple of shameless plugs, not going to lie, is the coffee chat. And the topic is really the truth about how we got to success. And it's going to be done a little bit differently. So I'll tee that up a little bit later when we go into the coffee chat, but it's, you know, really kind of came from the fact that we all do great job at telling success stories, you know, but they didn't always start that way, right? So there's been hiccups and groups along the way. And, you know, we don't really do a lot of sharing of, you know, the pathway to get there. So I'm hoping that, you know, that'll be a really, really robust conversation. And then on Thursday is our Pillar Talk, which we're really excited about. You know, which also came from the fact that, you know, I know for us at International Medical Corps, we saw a massive influx of new donors coming in to offer products during both COVID and the Ukraine crisis. And, you know, we really want to educate the public on how to be helpful and not harmful when they're making those types of offers. So it'll be a great discussion. We've got some experts on the, you know, kind of talking about it. We have Paige from Amgen who will be participating. We also have Mohammed from ANERA, and Adele will be our fearless leader through this panel discussion. So I hope you can all join. And it's also being promoted on DevX. So we really do anticipate a large bump in attendees. So fingers crossed, but I hope to see you all there. Next slide, another shameless plug. I know that I personally have used the Guidelines at a Glance document, which really, really helped during especially the Ukraine crisis in trying to educate new donors coming in on why we need to follow certain protocols and why things sometimes take longer than they should, you know, in their minds. So just a reminder that these assets are out there for you and hope that you're utilizing them as well. And then another shameless plug from me to you. As noted by a couple of the committees, I've been actually committee jumping, right? And participating in a lot of conversations with others to really kind of get your tools and templates that you might have organizationally. The thing I want to make clear about the reason we're collecting them is we want to do a single set of templates that we can make available not only to PQMD members, but external audiences. It's like, think about when you were new and what you wish you would have had. Or if you're actually an established organization doing product donations, or a company who's been doing it a long time, but you're like, I kind of want to refine these. You can kind of go there for inspiration or to utilize those templates. Understand that the things that we're collecting really are going to be 100% de-identified. So we may find, oh gosh, this one has, I love the way this is phrased. We're going to pull that information. So say it's a packing list or a donation letter or whatever it might be. We'll pull from different pieces that are shared with us to create those masters. So I guess the key message I want to get here is please help. We only have a few organizations and a couple of corporations that have provided their templates. So we could really use your help in collecting more and understanding that they are 100% de-identified. So you wouldn't be able to tell that it was an International Medical Corps template or whatever. So shameless plug again. And then sadly, we're still missing 19 self-certifications. For new member reps, this is something that we do annually. And really it's attesting that you've read the guidelines and you're kind of benchmarking against, where your program is. We tried to make it as easy as possible this year. So we've provided last year's completed forms. So honestly, if you read through it and go, really nothing has changed in the last year, then you can really just sign it and then do the read and sign as well. So we have to 100% get these done in the next couple of months. So my shameless plug is that we're all going to be reaching out to you individually to provide that again and kind of beg for the completion of that, because I'd love to be able to brag at the October forum that we have 100% participation in this. And I know I have to laugh. I'm like, please let me brag. And lastly, there's a lot of other work being done by the committee. We formed a lot of different subcommittees. We're collaborating obviously with the K&I on metrics, which is a component of the strategic plan, is really taking a look at the guidelines and the efficacy and really, are we moving the needle? Have we made an impact within the industry? And if so, how do we measure that? And how do we look at the change created by the guidelines and the constant updates and things like that? So more on that to come, but working in collaboration. We've also are working on developing a workshop series. Think that some of the thinking that the subcommittee has come up with is thinking around, well, could we use even part of the workshop series to kind of benchmark those learnings, right? At the beginning of it, take a pre-survey and then test their knowledge afterwards and see if we're also living up to their expectations. So just a few things that are going on there. And we should be able to report out on that, more on that as well. And then we're also working with the other team on reviewing the annual membership satisfaction survey, because we want to make sure that the questions that we're asking or inputting, we can also utilize for some of those metrics to see if what we're doing is on target. So I think that is it for me.
Thank you, Marcia. We are all awaiting your emails. So I think I saw some panic and I was panicking, like how do we know if we're one of the people, but it's good to know you're going to reach out to us.
We are, and we've been reaching out to everybody. Poor Jay-Z has like literally sent them, I think, 4 or 5 times. So,
Jen
but I think
just
that,
posted it too in the chat for everybody. She's posted the link. So if you can get on there and look, if it's familiar, you probably, you may have done it if you've never seen it before. There you
Yeah,
go.
for the new people, you can use that link, and I'll send them out again for the people who've already completed it. We have pre-filled links that we've been sending out for folks to just review and submit if there's been.
Yes, so let's go to 100% for October.
then I'll have a smiley face on the screen, just saying.
Okay, awesome. Well, thank you. Randy, we'll turn it to you for governance.
Excellent. Thank you. Now for the really exciting stuff. I've been hanging out with Steve and don't have slides either, but just want to kind of give an update on the slate coming up. So we're entering election term year for us. So we'll be putting in a new executive committee for 23 and 24. Just to give you a little on the process. We will be reaching out to all the chairs that, or if you have not been contacted yet, we'll be reaching out to you soon to see if you'd be interested in staying, if you still have eligibility, as you can, you are allowed to serve 3 consecutive terms as a chair of a standing committee, and no more than 2 consecutive terms as an officer at PQMD. So we'll be reaching out again in the next week or so to the ones we haven't gotten in touch with. And then kind of the process following that is we'll be sending out an email to the entire board, letting people know what spots definitely need replacement, and asking for nominations. You are able to nominate yourself. You can nominate for a role that even does not need to be replaced for that. So we would love to get some new faces, new people on the executive committee would be great. Once we do send out that note asking for names, give you 2 weeks or so to get nominations back. Our committee will then be discussing and making recommendations to the executive committee on what we think the slate should look like for the next 2 years. And then we will have this, that would be about August, September, kind of having that work through. In October, the executive committee will approve the slate or tentatively approve it. And then we send back out to the full board for sort of any feedback on what we have the slate looking for. I want to make sure we're as inclusive in this process as we can be for it. And then at the end of October, early November, we'll be voting on the slate for the next 2 years. So that'll be coming out, like I said, the initial email, hopefully in the next 2 weeks to the full board to get that process rolling for nominations. And that's it, Julie. Thanks. Any questions?
Any questions? I didn't see anything in the chat. Perfect. Okay, so then we'll go over to Kavita for disaster and humanitarian.
Hi, everyone. Good morning. This is Kavita from Baxter. Just a quick thank you to Liam from Brothers Brothers, Christina from Children International, and Sam, our PQMD Sherpa, for all their leadership while I was out on parental leave. These highlights are really thanks to them. And I have no slides because I'm sleep training a 4-month-old. So that's my excuse. Quick highlights is we had great Q1 and Q2 humanitarian calls focused on worker safety and hurricane response. Thank you to all of our speakers, internal and external. The highlights are what's ahead in terms of September. It's Disaster Relief Month. We'll be hosting 2 meetings, a humanitarian assistance call where we really like to highlight collaboration amongst members and potentially an update on our Ukraine response efforts, and then a pillar talk focused on technology in disaster relief and medical donations. And then December is Humanitarian Assistance Month. Our quarterly call is on December 9th, and we look forward to receiving ideas and recommendations. Also, welcome to all our new members. A lot of them have joined our committee, so look forward to having a chance to getting to meet you all, and thanks for everybody's contributions to our discussions. Please reach out if you have suggestions or ideas, and then all of our meeting dates are on the COP calendar. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Kavita. Welcome back. And thank you to everyone who's been filling in the meantime. It's great to have you back. And will we see you in October?
I hope so, yes.
All right, hope so. Okay, so we will go over to, actually, I think Gretchen, is it you or Jackie? I don't think Rob is on the call today.
Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and give the update as the staff support for the membership committee. So hello, everybody. I know that it has been mentioned several times that we have so many new member reps and we're so excited to have you all here with us. I wanted to do a special shout out to our new member organizations since our last GMM. So Airlink, Children's International, and IRC. We're so glad to have you all, truthfully, and hope that you are finding your way. And if not, as everybody has mentioned, please reach out to any staff member or any other seasoned person here. We're happy to connect you with and answer any questions that you have. I think most of you were member reps on June 23rd when Rob sent out an email. So if that slipped past you, or if you put it on your aside, I need to do this later list, I would ask that you take a look at that again. That email from Rob Keel from Tanner Pharma outlines the folks that are on the organizations that are on our targeted member recruitment list. And it's asking for specific connections and contacts from you all to those organizations. So some of these folks have been on our member recruitment list for quite some time. And we're really looking for people that have direct contacts there that can make an introduction on behalf of PQMD so that we can try to make some headway to these organizations that we think would be so valuable to have at the PQMD table. And then also, if you have not joined a committee yet, this is another friendly reminder to do that. I know that EJ and Julie Jensen rather sent out a joint email about that about a month ago as well. So take a look at that. If you have any questions about joining a committee, I think I'm echoing all the committee chairs here to say, reach out directly. Most of them are more than happy to have a new committee member joining them to help in the support of all the work that everybody is doing. And then last but certainly not least, just a heads up for those that are new, we do have an annual membership satisfaction survey. So a reminder that is going to be coming out. Look for that just after Labor Day. If you have any questions in general, feel free to reach out to Rob as the chair of the membership committee or myself as the staff support. Thanks.
Thanks so much, Gretchen. Filling in for Rob. And yes, and congratulations and welcome to all of our new members. So we are lucky that Pat made it on her airplane. I think one of the reports we've all been waiting for. Pat, I'll turn it to you for the programs update.
Great, thanks, Julie. I don't know if someone has my slides. Victoria, do you have the slides?
I have them, Pat. I can share them for you if you'd like.
Oh, great, thanks. So hi, everyone. Hi, all the newbies and all of us old timers. So I just want to first give a shout out to Victoria for all the work she does with programs. I want everyone not to consider communications and guidelines and come to our committee and join it. Because we're all going to start poaching because we really need some help. And we're looking forward to having all the new members join some of the committees and take your time really to look at and join some of the calls and see what you want to join, because we all work very, very hard. I want to show just these slides. They're great slides. I did not put them together. I looked at them, called Victoria from the airport about 8 o'clock last night and said, we've just got to share all of them. So the first one is the Global Health Policy Forum. So this year we did something a little different. We did a series. So we had 3 different regions, 3 different moderators, and 3 different focus areas. And it was very successful. It was an enormous amount of work. We had a variety of global panelists that we were thrilled to have join us. Everyone really, just got behind us. And I think that this was very, very successful. You can look at these slides and read them, as I talk and when we send you all the slides. But I think this was a little different. I don't know if we'll do this every year, but we may do it every other year. And I believe that everyone enjoyed it. As you can see by some of the numbers, we were very, very thrilled, just hoping to maybe advance or, gather more different types of corporations and government participation. But anyways, it was very, very successful. Next slide, please. the Pillar Talk. So just for everyone, the program committee is really responsible for putting all of the Pillar Talks or coordinating the Pillar Talks and the coffee chats and the forums. And we really look to the committee as well as all of our members to help and engage and share their ideas and thoughts that they want to, that they feel that is of interest. So we have different monthly topics. Our outreach has really been very broad, and we're still looking to expand. We are following our topics from the survey, I believe that Steve had sent out that he's still working on, but we're pulling ideas from that as to what you want to hear about. And so that's how we pull the Pillar Talks together as well as the coffee chats. And so as you can see, again, by the numbers, we have, I think we've been pretty successful in our outreach. Next slide, please. Coffee chats. This is internal, where the Pillar Talks, as you know, are external. So we have external audience. Coffee chats really for us to come together, talk about the topics that we want to hear about. And we appreciate everyone sort of stepping up and becoming the facilitator for the monthly chats. They are, I think they're attended by at least sometimes 15, 25 members. So we're thrilled that everyone feels that these are valid and they're very helpful. And we thank everyone for this participation. And the next slide. This is this is, again, just over 950 event attendees. We feel we had a very successful half of the year, as well as last year, providing a lot of new topics. You'll see some of the future topics that we're talking about. And again, I just have to share that if anybody has anything in particular they want to share with the program committee, just send us an email. You can get a hold of me, you can get a hold of Victoria. Sarah works very closely with us, as well as Katie. And we're starting to work on our October forum. I'm a little nervous because I feel like we should be a little further along. But again, we're going to need a lot of support. It takes a lot of work to pull these together. I'm extremely excited, as Julie had shared, to be able to come together. I know I can look, when I think of Julie, I always think of our COVID chair, but this is going to be great that we're going to see her for the first time in October after 2 years. So, you know, we're going to be reaching out to a lot of folks. The program committee is going to be working closely with EJ and the rest of the team to try to pull October together. We have done really well in sticking with the objectives of the strategic plan. And I think that we've implemented everything that is sort of our responsibility. I'm supposed to remind you of something, and I know Victoria's on, she's probably wondering if I remembered, but I did jot a note somewhere here on my desk. But something about, you don't need really to register for the Pillar Talks any longer, that we are going to be sending out an email with a link, and you will be able to accept or decline. And I think I have that right. Victoria, if I don't, let me know.
Yeah, just as a benefit of membership, that you no longer, as a member rep, need to register for your Pillar Talks. We are going to send you calendar invites directly to make it easier on everyone to be able to do that. So, and I think that you saw that started in June.
And I think that may be the last of our slides because we only have 5 minutes left. So I'm going to stop talking and turn it over to whoever's next. Thanks, everyone.
Thanks, Pat. And I think we've got one more committee update. Abby, are you on?
Hi, yes, and I will be concise.
Cool, thank you.
Okay, can you see the slides? Wonderful. I'm not going to go through this in detail. I do want to say thank you to Sam for preparing these, and maybe we can share them out if anyone wants a closer look. But I know the DevEx content was mentioned before, so we did just it was a paid partnership with DevEx. We got great content out of it. If you haven't seen it yet, there's a Q&A featuring an interview with EJ that went out through their content. There's also an advertisement on their website and the DevX Checkup, which is the newsletter. So if you're not already following DevX Communications, I would encourage you to go on their website and sign up, and also their Facebook. They're doing some social. And we will be sharing these links with everyone, along with some content that we're hoping you might share on your social media, mainly your LinkedIn, but any social where you have some of your professional contacts. The other piece that we're working on is working with the same PR consultant that we had very good results with last year, working with her on some training and capacity building and a plan around social. So we have an update call with her tomorrow, and then there'll be more to come on that. The last thing is I would just ask everyone, if you haven't already, please do connect, follow, link with all of the different PQMD social accounts. And also know that any news, videos, website links, Facebook stories, anything you have coming out about your organization, we do tend to track that naturally through Sam following everyone. But if there's something significant, please do send it so we can share. And also, we're looking at our PR budget and plan for the back half of the year. So please, committees, if you have things that need to be launched or communicated about both internally and externally, do send those along to myself, my co-chair Lisa, and or Sam. Thank you.
Thank you, Abby. Okay, so I know we're like 3 minutes from time. EJ, I'm gonna let you pop back up on the screen. Are there additional topics we want to talk about? Okay.
Thanks. I just have, I'm going to share my screen so that we can go do this really quickly. I just should mention for those people who this is their first meeting, that this meeting typically runs 90 minutes, and we shortened it in order to accommodate the coffee chat. So we will get to the coffee chat momentarily. I just wanted to make sure that we went through this quickly. Hold on a second here. Okay. So education forum, just quickly so that you guys will know what's going on, and hopefully you will be able to participate. And as Julie said, we're hoping for 100% participation if we can. We know we have some scheduling conflicts with a couple of people. We will have some hybrid options available for those who can't make the trip, but I think everybody has mentioned that the face-to-face contact has been so incredibly important to the network. So I'm really hoping that everybody will be able to participate. The dates are October 18 through 20. The focus is going to be on trends and donations. And as we mentioned before today, the focus on access, sustainability, and resilience. Here is the list of things that we'll be doing. So exchanging best practice and facilitating collaboration, of course, networking. And what's not on here is our objective is also to have quite a bit of fun. The format is going to be working groups and roundtables. We're going to try and focus as much as possible on interaction, so short presentations and much more engagement, so people will be able to get to know each other better and really really talk about the things that are extremely prescient in this rather interesting time in global health. So here's sort of an outline of the days, so you see what's happening. So day one, we typically have a board dinner after the first day. It's being generously hosted by Medical Teams International. Very excited about that. And the focus and the deep dives that we'll be doing will really be on multi-sectoral strategies, supply chain, logistical capacity, and last mile accountability. Just so you know, these came from NGOs and corporates who talked about what they felt the most critical trends were and what they wanted to explore further. So that's how we came up with these, and of course with the contribution of the program committee, who was very involved in sort of looking at the totality of all the trends that are going on and helping us really narrow it down and focus on just three things that we really wanted to talk about and make our meeting particularly valuable. The second day will be on sustainability in the face of major disruptors and scale. So that's been something that's coming up constantly, and about how to really scale the programs while everybody is terrific, at doing things at a country level or even regionally. How can we really extend that expertise and take these things to scale in the face of some major disruptors like COVID, like Ukraine, like all kinds of other things that are going on in the world. And then day 3, which is a really important day. So again, very important for everybody to stay on that day. We will be talking, it's only a half day. We'll be talking about operational programs of PQMD. And then of course, we'll have the in-person general membership meeting. So that is really important that you participate there, and then you'll be free by 1 o'clock to go and enjoy Seattle. And with that, I'm going to hand it over to Julie Marie, who is going to just do some quick Slido. Julie Marie.
Hey guys, sorry, we were talking about the coffee chat, trying to make sure that everybody who's trying to get on. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to send out this Slido via email after the meeting so that you guys can participate. Just wanted to let you know that we have a great session kind of set up to talk about the trends within donations. And you guys are out there living them and seeing them every day, yet every time we meet together, we hear about discovery that you're kind of getting access through the content of the collaboration or discussion. So we set up like a really wonderful but yet cozy working session right on the first day to talk about trends in donations. And what we need from you guys is kind of to narrow the boundaries. We're going to have different tables you're working at for categories, and we're looking for some insight from you guys on the categories about what you really want to talk about, kind of just get down to that next level with your peers. I'll send it all out by email, but thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Julie Marie. Yeah, so please be on the lookout for that email. And if you have any comments, or you'd like to make any contributions to the agenda, or you would like to work with us or the program committee on this, please feel free to let us know, let me know, let Julie Marie, let Pat know, and we will bring you right into that task. So that's it. Thank you very much. Look forward to seeing you in October. Back to you, Julie.
Well, thanks everyone. Thanks for staying on a few more minutes. So do we have to sign off, Julie Marie, and then just jump onto a different Zoom? Is that how it works, or do you send us places?
No, the link is the same. So everybody should be able to continue